Keegan Kolesar is the latest Golden Knight to get a contract extension. We'll talk about his new deal and who we believe could be the next player to get a new extension. That comes your way next on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, hi again, everyone. I'm Tony Cardasco with an asterisk, along with Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. Find us wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure to subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. We are brought to you today by the College Football Playoff. Don't forget the College Football Playoff is here, and you don't want to miss a moment of the action. The College Football Playoff presented by Allstate. That will begin with 4 first-round games, December the 20th and 21st on ABC, ESPN, TNT, and Max. Working out during the offseason with Brett Howden really paid dividends for Keegan Kolesar and for Howden. But Howden signed an extension in November, and last week it was Kolesar's turn. He was signed to a 3-year, $7.5 million contract extension through 2027-28. Both Howden and Kolesar took deals that we thought were lowballed, perhaps in nature. Each of them having career years right now, and Kolesar takes a 3-year deal. He does get a raise that is worth 3 times of what he was making.
Kolesar 3 times 2.5. You said we both thought they were both overpaid. Kolesar overpaid too?
No, underpaid.
Underpaid. I'm sorry. No, I don't. Howden massively underpaid. Kolesar, I think, is a slight overpay. When I say slight, I think we're talking
slight
overpay.
Overpay.
I think it's a slight overpay for Kolesar. I do.
You think that that's the best deal he would have gotten on the free agent market? Yeah.
I think he would have done better. I think he could have done a little bit better.
Okay.
I think Kolesar likes being in Vegas. I think he likes the situation. I think he likes knowing that for now and the next 3 seasons, 1, the security, and 2, the fact that the Golden Knights are still going to have this core largely intact through the end of his contract. Eichel 26-27 UFA, Mark Stone 27-28 UFA. I think they both wind up signing deals to stay in Vegas. Obviously, that's another show for a couple of years down the road. But Kolesar, listen, as far as Kolesar, the player, regardless of the money, you're talking about one of the most respected guys in the locker room. He'll stand up for any player, any moment, any circumstance. I said in the preseason that Kolesar could emerge as a locker room leader type. People thought I was nuts when I said that. And I don't know if it took longer than a week to 2 weeks or even in the preseason for Coach Bruce Cassidy to say that Kolesar is now becoming a locker room leader. So that just goes to show what the locker room sees in Kolesar. It's what Coach Cassidy sees in Kolesar. And $2.5 million for a guy who's prominently a 4th line winger who can play up and kill penalties. Take it all day, and twice on, what day is it? On Tuesday mornings.
On Tuesdays, yeah. So going up on a Tuesday on this show, Kolesar has found his niche, more or less, with this team. But why are they just jumping at that offer? That's my question. Why don't they have the leverage, I believe, the players do. And I know that the salary cap's going up, but do they not believe that they could get the same amount of money and terms somewhere else? That's the question.
There's a lot playing into that right now as free agents and pending free agents are signing deals to stay in Vegas or when they come here in the offseason. Number one, it goes with the tax implications. It's much better playing in the States versus the Canadian market financially. It's much better playing in places like Vegas and I believe Nashville because of the income tax implications. So you have to factor all of that too. Whether the NHL at one point levels that playing field or not, that's again another story for another time. But for now, Vegas is going to have an edge when it comes to that. Number two, Vegas is Vegas. Vegas is still a pretty cool place to live. It's a lot different than any other place in the world. And it's not for everybody, obviously, but for those that do embrace the Vegas lifestyle, it can be a great place to raise a family. It could be a great place to have a profession, whether that's professional sports or working in the casinos or whatever the many jobs that may have you in Las Vegas. And also, I mean, you got to give credit to the players simply wanting to be here. This is something that I don't like people. They always compare this to the Marchessault situation. Oh, if he wanted to be here, he would have signed his contract. Okay, fine, whatever. But Howden, Kolesar, Shea Theodore, Braden McNabb do want to be here because they did sign the contracts. And I mean, we feel that Theodore was maybe slightly under market, but not much.
Slightly?
I think he was slightly under market. We're talking.
I think they all are. I think they all got fleeced. Asterisk.
Yeah. Kolesar, I think was fair, give or take. The other contracts, I thought were right where they should be.
Right where they should be. Okay. Kolesar, the Flying Burrito brother, he was the one that makes this pretty much, I believe. This fourth line is the identity line, right? And he is a major part of that.
He's the part of that energy line.
Right.
He is the part that makes it an energy line. You take Kolesar off that line, and you need to be able to rotate four lines. And speaking of rotating four lines, something I was looking at was Kolesar's minutes per game from a comparable basis. When Coach Cassidy first comes in the 23 Stanley Cup season, he averaged 11 minutes, 28 seconds on the ice. 23-24, 10:52. 24-25, 12:57. And we're talking about someone who has played as high as on that second line for multiple games as the Golden Knights battled the Mark Stone injury and other injuries as well, Olofsson too. So the fact that Kolesar can be very comfortable on that fourth line, even creating a matchup, a mismatch, pardon me, for other teams' fourth lines. The fact that Kolesar can kill penalties, something that you don't see talked about a lot, but he does kill penalties when needed. And the fact that he can go up and down the lineup. It's what's the word I'm looking for? The infielder. What's the term for the infielder that can play like all the positions? Utility man. Utility man. He's a great utility player.
Yeah.
Outside of simply having the energy role. There you go.
Okay. Just again, players, these two players in particular, Keegan Kolesar, Brett Howden, are having career years. See, this is the part that I don't understand because they have the leverage to some degree because they're going to be valued much more. Again, rising cap is going to be happening. I think on the free agent market, I think that they would fare very well, pretty well. I really do believe that. And the season's not over. Why? Okay, so suddenly VGK has changed overall its mentality as far as getting these deals done. Why?
All right, so a couple things. Number one, we're talking about Brett Howden and Keegan Kolesar. Okay, we're not talking about Pavel Dorofeyev having a career season who's going to be in line for 50, 55, 60 points or something like that, where his next contract, that's going to be a tough one to figure out when his time is up, definitely. We're talking about utility players. We're talking about
complementary players.
Yeah, and that's my point. So, again, we're not discrediting what they're doing by any means, but we're talking about, Howden. Yes, he's currently pacing for 25, 26 goals. Does he get there? I don't know. But I mean, again, career goal totals and going backwards from 24, 25, 11 this year, 8, 6, and 9. And again, if he gets over 20 goals, a lot of time left, he should. We'll see about that. Only one assist, though. Only one assist for Brett Howden. And then Kolesar, career high is 18 or 24 points, pardon me, in the 21-22 season. 18 the last two, the 2 years after that, 11 currently in 31 games, pacing for 27, 28 points. So we're not talking players who are breaking the bank, so to speak. Now, you asked, why is all this happening right now? Again, this is simply a guess. I don't have anything more than this, but I'm assuming things didn't sit well with Bill Foley in the offseason. I'm assuming that Foley did not enjoy watching all these players walk out the door. Now, things are going very well for Vegas. So maybe a bit of an oxymoron here. But point being is, I'm sure Foley saw all this and he saw, a hit to his brand, so to speak, whatever. And I got a feeling Foley probably gave McCrimmon a little bit of juice, so to speak, and said, let's get some of these deals done here and, see how things work out. And as a result, it's been a very busy season for McCrimmon. So what Theodore, McNabb, Howden, Kolesar, we'll talk about who might be next in the second segment. But I don't think Foley wants as stressful as an offseason.
Okay, maybe that's it, perhaps. Who knows? But I do, again, have to point to the fact that as soon as the season ended, Howden and Kolesar got together, and they were at the rink just tirelessly and worked on the games and they came into camp. Remember Cassidy saying it's the best shape that they've ever been in, those two players. He did point them out. So congrats to them on the new contracts. And coming up next, are there more extensions in the works? We'll talk about that. And who's next? Who will be the next VGA player to sign an extension? All that on the way right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Today's episode is brought to you by Bilt Rewards. If you're a renter, listen up. There's a total game changer. Thanks to Bilt, you can now earn points on rent payments, just like you do with groceries and travel. Paying rent now comes with serious perks, and it's completely free to join. So you can earn these valuable Bilt points on your rent, everyday spending at no extra cost. Redeem these points for flights, hotel stays, even future rent payments. With over 500 airlines and 700,000 hotels in their program, the possibilities are absolutely endless. You can access unique experiences that are exclusive to Bilt members. And it's really cool because you can do it today and you could start earning points. Earn points on rent while you're already paying by going to joinbilt.com/LockedOnNHL. Again, join Bilt, BILT.com/LockedOnNHL. Make sure to use our link so they know that we sent you. The World Series, Super Bowl, the Olympics, the world's top athletes, they get to play in these top-level sporting events thanks to one thing, and that is teamwork. And teamwork can also help to protect your financial legacy and your family's future. SelectQuote's licensed insurance agents are the perfect teammates when shopping for customized, affordable life insurance. They can find you the right policy to keep your financial legacy safely in your family's end zone, so to speak. And of course, SelectQuote is one of America's leading insurance brokers with nearly 40 years of experience. They help over 2 million customers find even $700 billion in coverage since 1985. You invest so much time to take care of yourself and to be your healthiest, best version of you. SelectQuote's exclusive policies can reward that effort. And these policies are more affordable than you can even believe. You can get coverage for up to $1 million for as little as $20 per month. That's right. Get the right life insurance for you for less at selectquote.com/LockedOnNHL. selectquote.com/LockedOnNHL today to get started. That's selectquote.com/LockedOnNHL. Welcome back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from Las Vegas. And thank you for making us your first listen every day. Find us wherever you get your podcast. Fridays are WTF days. Saturdays, sometimes it is the Chris and Chris Jr. Show, the YouTube exclusive. It's so exclusive that it's going to be very hard for you to find. I'm still just trying to stay awake from that Raider game last night, bro. That was, oh my gosh.
Hey, so and yesterday, I think during one of our promo reads, I think I had said take the Bears or take the Vikings first half over the Bears. Vikings were -4. They won. They were up 13-0 at the half. And then I said take the Falcons, lay the wood -5.5, and they won by 6, right? 15-9, right? 15-9.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. So got there by the hook. So follow me for more financial advice.
Blocked extra point, bro. A blocked extra point. However you get there.
The Vikings.
Why are the Raiders?
They're both
the Raiders.
Falcons are terrible.
Okay, they load up in the box, right? The Falcons, and the Raiders are at their own 1 yard line.
Oh man,
I hate this.
Safety.
But why do you go shotgun? Why do you go shotgun in that situation? I never could understand that.
The
You just
Pierce
get under
experiment
center.
was nice, but I got a feeling that's got a short shelf life right now.
Yeah. Oh, the fans are starting to get more restless, and I can't blame them. So since October the 24th, VGK has signed 4 players in their contract years, and that is Shea Theodore, a 7-year extension. Brett Howden for 5 years, 3 years for Brady McNabb, and for Keegan Kolesar. So VGK trying to keep this band together. Remember, they always used to say that. So logically, yeah. So logically, we both believe that we would have to say Aiden Hill is pretty much that hot pick to be on our radar right after the 4 nations. If Canada wins, only if Canada wins, he'll sign a new contract. So the other UFAs, Chris, include Ilya Samsonov, Victor Golifson. I said Golesson yesterday because that's what he was for a while because he was hurt. And then Tanner Pearson, maybe. Olaf making over 1.75 million. Any of these players get extended. That's a lot there, but you can go from here.
Olafson is 1.075, so a little less than 1.1. You said 1.75.
Dude, let me make stuff up. I've got an asterisk, okay? I can do what I want to do.
Fair enough.
But you know what? That asterisk is only good if it leads somewhere. Where does it lead to?
No one knows where that asterisk in your mind leads, believe me. So Aiden Hill, let's start there. I think the Golden Knights have really built up a lot of goodwill with Aiden Hill, with the situation with Team Canada. The Golden Knights propped him up big time. And you bet your bottom dollar that the Golden Knights did this with the expectation of something in return, whether that's, a more of a team. I mean, it's the only thing it would be is a more team friendly deal coming into Hill's UFA. What that number is, oh my God, I don't know. It's going up right now because Aiden Hill certainly, after a rough start, has found a way and rebounded very, very nicely. Edmonton Oilers game notwithstanding, of course, but besides that, he's been extremely solid all year, rightfully earned a spot on the Team Canada roster, would have been an all-star if it wasn't for the 4 nations. So a lot going for Aiden Hill. I mean, hopefully before the 4 nations, but I think right around the 4 nations is when Aiden Hill, when his extension is announced, whether that's in the 5 million area or a little bit higher. I don't know, but I really think the biggest thing Aiden needs to prove right now, besides his ability to play well, is stay healthy. He's playing well and staying healthy, so he's checking both those boxes. 4 times 5.5, ballpark 3 times 5.5. I really think that they find a way to get him south of 6 million for 3 to 4 years. Next player you mentioned, Victor Olofsson. Olofsson is going to be the most.
Olofsson is making 1.75. Go ahead.
1.075.
1.075.
Biggest issue there is Olofsson came to Vegas, I think, to get paid. All right. Olofsson came to Vegas to show that he still has something. He came to Vegas to show he can perform on a top tier team. Forget the dumpster fire that is Buffalo. Then you have to get that off of your memory, as Jack Eichel did. Olofsson hopes to make a deep playoff run and to factor. Olofsson's only played 11 games this season.
I know.
Seven goals. He's pacing for 52 goals in an 82-game season. Again, he had 4 goals in the last 3 games, so it's not going to be like that. But I think Olofsson's next contract, he's going to want $4 million AAV plus.
Not worth it. Nah,
not to Vegas. Not to Vegas, but a team with the cap space that's looking for that shot on the power play, someone else will.
Okay. Yeah, pretty interesting. And wasn't it McCrimmon who said that, they didn't want to sign players like this or have any negotiations in season or something to that effect?
Well, when they're in the playoff push.
Only when they're in the playoffs. Okay.
In the second third of the season, basically from February on, we'll see if that rings true or not.
Yeah. There's a bunch of RFAs as well. So Nick Hague, Alexander Holtz, Coleswind, is he still on the team? I picked him the other night. He was one of my picks.
He might be playing tomorrow. Might be playing Thursday.
I could see Hague going to arbitration, right? I mean, if you think about that. Holtz, beat it. Schwint, $800,000 a depth piece. I don't know. Holtz. Everyone talks about all these great successes for VGK. Then you have Holtz. Come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Holtz, we're talking about a 22-year-old right now, still learning the game, and had a good spike in New Jersey, and has had moments, albeit few and far between, but he's had some.
Didn't he be in Tahoe, for crying out loud? No, go ahead, man. Sorry.
So the RFAs, Holtz and Schwint, those deals will get done in the ballpark they are now, in that 900,000 range, maybe $1 million, whatever. Nicholas Hague is going to be tough. Talking about Nick Hague a little bit here. So right now, the Golden Knights' top 4 defensemen, they're set, right? They're set right now. It's Pietrangelo, Hanifin, Theodore McNabb, and it's like that for the next 3 seasons. McNabb's got the shortest of the contracts right now. So for Nick Hague to get into that top 4 pairing, it's going to be for injuries, number one. Nick Hague, I think, is a top 4 player, maybe that middle pairing, but I think Nick Hague himself and a lot of teams in the league will view him as a top 4 defenseman. So you mentioned arbitration. That's one option. I don't know how it works with an arbitration eligible player and maybe the offer sheets, like we saw with what Dylan Holloway and Philip Broberg with Edmonton, Lewis, and all that. Now, Vegas, I don't know if they is crummy as Vegas has been with previous business negotiations. I think the situation with Edmonton was a sign of Bowman being brought in as the GM and just a team taking their shot. Like, hey, you want to bring in this person, then this is what's going to happen to you from the league for the rest of your, as long as he's the GM. I don't think anyone's going to fire that shot on Vegas, but I guess it's something that could happen. So I could see Nick Hague going to arbitration, whatever the deal is. He plays for another season, and then we'll talk 1 year from now about a similar show where Nick Hague's UFA deal would be. But I think Nick Hague right now, remember, he maxed the credit card, right? They were waiting to see how much money was left, I think, after there was I forgot who the signing was, but there was one player that the Golden Knights needed to extend first. And then the second that deal got done, how much money is left? And the answer was there was $2.2 million, $94,150 left.
And his agent said, we'll take all of that, remember? And he signed very late.
He missed the first game of the regular season.
Right.
That's how late he signed. But he did. He was, he couldn't practice for. I think he did like the captain skates, but he didn't go to camp until whatever. But
that's hilarious. That was funny. Remember,
he was working on the Chicago Wolves or something. Remember,
I do.
He was with an AHL team working out or something like that.
Las Vegas doesn't have one right now, so
the Silver Knights they're barely ECHL.
Oh my gosh, they are really.
They had a moment, and they got back to suckage right now. Samsonov, that's another one. I think Samsonov we can lump in UFA. We can lump Samsonov with Olofsson. Samsonov comes to Vegas looking for a team where he can be a major part of hopefully a big playoff run. And Samsonov, $1.8 million. I felt that was a little high, honestly, at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But Samsonov is going to look to catch on somewhere. I mean, Samsonov pacing for the high 30s as far as games played. A fair season, not a great season, not a bad season, but had some big games. Samsonov is going to look for a bag after this, and I don't see Vegas coming out of the 24-25 season paying Hill and Samsonov a combined $9 million AAV. I don't see that happening.
Mm-hmm. Well, on top of all this, there's still going to be some LTIR shenanigans late in the season.
I hope so.
And they are going to have to sign. They're going to have to sign, another player. People should put up. Never mind. I'm not going to go there because I've got an asterisk next to my name. Coming up next, Pacific Contenders or Pretenders. We'll talk about that when we return right here on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Get ready to tackle the NFL action for the remainder of this season with FanDuel. It's America's #1 sportsbook. My goodness, those were 2 awful Monday Night Football games last night. Jeez. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app, it gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL. And it's all in one place. You could find it right there at FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com, join today. And when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the National Football League. Back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights, Tony Kordaskerisk and Chris Golick.
That's good.
Chris Golick reporting. Why is that asterisk there today? I don't understand, man. I'm just.
Someone on YouTube said to put it there.
Someone said to, and that's kind of funny. Okay. Definitely, we appreciate everyone tuning in, especially our everydayers. Last night, I found, like, they show your listening habits, like on this Odyssey app. Dude, I need to get a life, for crying out loud. So it says here, there are even this many hours in a year. Okay, I am in the top 5% of listeners of WFAN in New York. Minutes listened, 97,194. 97,194. Are there that many hours in a year? Does that even make sense? Are you trying to figure it out?
That's 1,600 hours.
Yeah. And it says 45 weeks is my listening streak. So you talk about Iron Man in this business right here. Yeah, I need to find a life, right? Sports talk is just.
You need to get a cat. Get a cat, Tony.
Did I see Miss Amanda with a cat shirt on the other night for Christmas?
Oh, she had a lot of cat shirts.
Okay. Didn't you have on the other night? I think you sent a photo.
Probably.
Yeah, you sent me a photo. Okay. It's all good. Well, and what's the hat all about? Grateful Dead?
Pearl Jam.
See, so Pearl Jam they ripped off that Grateful Dead logo to some degree.
It's their album called Lightning Bolts. That's all.
I know, but there is copyright infringement. And we're going to point that out on this very show.
There's an asterisk, don't worry.
Contenders and Pretenders, Pacific Division. Currently, contenders, I've got, okay, for sure, my locks of the season. I've got VGK, Edmonton, and the Kings. On the perimeter, Vancouver, which comes in here this week. Kiefer Shepherd, a hat trick last night? What in the world?
Kiefer Sherwood, let's go.
Yeah. Seattle, Pretender. And I also have the Flames to make the playoffs.
Flames to make the playoffs. That's interesting. 5 out of the Pacific. That would be. Obviously, a lot can happen. That would mean that Colorado might not make the playoffs, then. So we'll see. Who knows? Colorado. They still can't stop beach balls, so never know what'll happen there. Vegas, LA, Edmonton, contenders. Everybody else, pretenders. I'm not saying Vancouver and Calgary aren't decent teams by any means. Vancouver, I think, will be a playoff team. The Flames might or might not be a playoff team. We'll see what happens. Seattle, San Jose, Anaheim, no way, no how. But definitely, LA Kings, that's a story, right? Drew Doughty goes down. So many personnel changes, addition by subtraction, getting rid of Pierre-Luc Dubois. No telling what direction that team was going to go. And 18-9-3, 39 points, 4 behind the Vegas Golden Knights. The two teams also split a pair of games this season did the Vegas beat the games both times, or they lose one of the games? I think they split. They split with the LA Kings. So
remember last year they were already done with the season series by now.
Yeah, you had fun.
Rigged. It was rigged. Yeah, so rigged.
Drew Doughty comes back, and the Kings have played one less game. So theoretically, if the Kings win their extra game, I'm assuming they're playing today or tomorrow, they could be only 2 points behind the Golden Knights. And again, sometime in the early spring, Drew Doughty's going to end up coming back. And there's a lot of discussions if they might add like a piece like of Evgeny Malkin or a high level player. And if the Kings make a major move, McCrimmon won't stand for that. So we'll see if McCrimmon throws a block or if he finds a way to match whatever the Kings are going to do, because the Kings are probably going to be the first team that makes a move of the Pacific.
I thought it was pretty funny because the hype machine that is VGK state-run media, VGK has the largest lead of any division leader. And I'm like, okay, but the Kings have played they've got a game in hand. Come on, bro. Come on, man. That's a bad angle. No?
I mean, it's when there's not enough separation. It's too early in the season to talk about. Let's talk about this in game 57, not game 30. That's all.
It's
not
a
game
hype
31,
machine.
pardon me.
But as hot as VGK has been this season, and great start, and they're sustaining this lead, and you still have the Kings there within shouting distance. You still have the Oilers making their move. The Canucks are quietly like in the mix again.
Yeah, I mean, Canucks, they weren't quiet all last year. That's the thing. Interesting metrics to look at here. So let's look at goals for in the Pacific. Golden Knights 108, Edmonton 102, Vancouver 96, LA Kings 92. Let's look at goals against now. This is where things get interesting. Canucks have given up the most of those four teams at 93. We give the Oilers crap for not having decent goaltending and defense, but the Golden Knights have given up 92 goals, where Edmonton's given up 90. The Kings, Tony, 76 goals allowed. So the Kings are playing 3-2 hockey right now. The Kings are winning playoff type games here. It's fun watching, these 6-5 games like Edmonton and Florida last night. Vegas has had a few of those high scoring games as well. But at the end of the day, 3-2 is what the score is in the playoffs. That's just kind of how it goes. Path to 3 goals, DeBoer style, right? Mm-hmm. Well, the Kings are doing that right now. They're winning gritty, close games, and this is a team that's going to be built for a playoff push. And hopefully it finishes with Vegas and LA 1-2. They wouldn't see each other until the second, maybe third round, depending on how it shakes out, thankfully. But LA is going to be a very, very tough out. And again, they're going to have room to work with. I'll give you a number in 4 seconds here. LA Kings, Puckpedia. Now, Drew Doughty's going to be LTIR, so this number is going to shrink. But right now they have a current cap space of 9.3. And Drew Doughty is LTIR 11 million. So maybe they're going to have to do some things to figure this out, but their LTIR pool is 10.4. But again, the Kings are going to make some moves, Tony. And the Kings are going to make some moves for a potential cup run right now.
Yeah, and we'll see VGK making some counter moves, if you will, as well.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was thinking, so for VGK, what do you think their longest losing streak the remainder of this season might be? 4? What's the over-under?
An egg in the games right before typically the All-Star break. Now this year it's the Four Nations.
Right.
And those 4 games, what a great road trip this would be if anyone's looking to do it. But Sunday, February 2nd, New York Rangers. February 4th, New York Islanders. February 6th, New Jersey Devils.
Yeah.
February 8th, Boston Bruins. It'd be a great Northeast road trip for someone to do.
You don't have to switch hotels for those first 3 games,
I'm wondering, maybe we'll see.
You don't have to switch hotels. You can just stay there.
Actually, I'm thinking about going. That'd be awesome.
Seriously,
I don't care about Boston, but the other 3 would be even Rangers, Islanders would be cool.
Let's go, man. Let's go and do lockdown from the road.
Maybe.
We kill each other.
I would say that could be. I get my own room though. I don't split rooms.
No, me neither. Absolutely not.
Okay, we're in the same boat.
Yeah.
I think there'll be a 3-game losing streak in those 4 games somewhere. It happens every season.
Man,
talk about the reality of those games before the.
Talk about the reality of having your own room. I don't share like that.
Never share rooms unless it's my family, of course.
Yeah, unless it's never mind. Okay. Yeah. We appreciate everyone tuning in, especially Golic's knockoff hat and that.
It's not a knockoff. I did get here's a 10-second story really fast. So when I got this hat, they played the LA Sports Arena, really small venue in LA.
I love that. I love that place.
Something like that.
Springsteen would always play there. Oh,
it's a great place. It was a great venue for a concert.
I know.
We sat first row behind the stage. Really, really cool experience. Got the tickets really cheap too. And
but you can't hear back there behind.
Oh no, you can hear. It's fine back there.
Okay.
They have speakers facing the back too. It's okay.
Okay.
So I bought a shirt, and the row in front of us was covered. No one sat in the first row for whatever reason. They didn't let anyone sit there. So I bought a concert T-shirt. I had it draped over that first row. And right as they're about to play the song "Better Man," I realized the shirt's not there. So here's where it gets funny now. Someone stole a shirt, and I figured out who. I'll explain that in a second.
Eddie Vedder? Eddie Vedder stole your shirt.
there's always bootleg videos of all Pearl Jam concerts from multiple camera angles, and Eddie Vedder always talks blah, 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 more than I am right now. So there's a straightaway shot while they're getting ready to play Better Man. Here's me and Amanda right in the front row behind the stage. So you see us perfectly. You see me looking around for my shirt. I'm like, what happened? What happened to my shirt here? And I think like an usher comes and helps us. Like, this is while Eddie Vedder's still talking. You see this on the YouTube video. I'll put it up later. And all of a sudden, it clicked. The guy next to me who was by himself, like, got up, stole a shirt, handed it to a buddy, and walked away and came back. It didn't click till after the show. But when you watch the video, you literally see the guy go up to his buddy and his buddy walk away and all that. And so, yeah, it's great. It's good TV.
No way.
So I'll post it. I'll post it after the show. I'll post it after the show.
Can you zoom in and put that video on America's Most Wanted? I think we need to find the thief.
Maybe he was in one of your car chase videos. He seemed like
now that they're prosecuting again in California for like shoplifting and stuff. Let's do it, man. Let's find them. We appreciate everyone tuning in, especially our asterisk folks and our everydayers, wherever you might be. Don't forget Fridays, WTF, Saturdays, the Chris Times Chris Jr. Show, the YouTube exclusive. Please subscribe there. For my man, Chris Golick, I am Tony Cordasco from Las Vegas. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you again right here on Lockdown Golden Knights tomorrow. And please take care.